Friedrich Nietzsche, Life, Facts and Quotes. Born on 15 October 1844, Nietzsche grew up in the town of Rücken, now part of Lützen, near Leipzig, in the Prussian province of Saxony. Nietzsche attended a boys' school, and then a private school, where he became friends with Gustav Krug and Wilhelm Pinder, all three of whom came from highly respected families. Academic records from one of the schools attended by Nietzsche noted that he excelled in Christian theology. Nietzsche received an important grounding in languages, Greek, Latin, Hebrew, and French, so as to be able to read important primary sources. He also experienced for the first time being away from his family life in a small-town conservative environment. His end-of-semester exams in March 1864 showed a 1 in religion and German, a 2A in Greek and Latin, a 2B in French, history, and physics, and a lackluster 3 in Hebrew and mathematics. After graduation in September 1864, Nietzsche began studying theology and classical philology at the University of Bonn in the hope of becoming a minister. For a short time, he and Duyssen became members of the Burschenschaft Franconia. After one semester, and to the anger of his mother, he stopped his theological studies and lost his faith. As early as his 1862 essay, Fate and History, Nietzsche had argued that historical research had discredited the central teachings of Christianity, but David Strauss's Life of Jesus also seems to have had a profound effect on the young man. In addition, Ludwig Feuerbach's The Essence of Christianity influenced young Nietzsche with its argument that people created God, and not the other way around. In June 1865, at the age of 20, Nietzsche wrote to his sister Elizabeth, who was deeply religious, a letter regarding his loss of faith. This letter contains the following statement: "Hence the ways of men part. If you wish to strive for peace of soul and pleasure, then believe. If you wish to be a devotee of truth, then inquire." In 1865, Nietzsche thoroughly studied the works of Arthur Schopenhauer. He owed the awakening of his philosophical interest to reading Schopenhauer's The World as Will and Representation, and later admitted that Schopenhauer was one of the few thinkers whom he respected, dedicating the essay Schopenhauer as Educator in the Untimely Meditations to him. Europe's increased concern with science, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, and the general rebellion against tradition and authority intrigued Nietzsche greatly. Nietzsche would ultimately argue the impossibility of an evolutionary explanation of the human aesthetic sense. In 1869, with Ritschl's support, Nietzsche received an offer to become a professor of classical philology at the University of Basel in Switzerland. He was only 24 years old and had neither completed his doctorate nor received a teaching certificate, habilitation. He was awarded an honorary doctorate by Leipzig University in March 1869, again with Ritschl's support. Despite his offer coming at a time when he was considering giving up philology for science, he accepted. To this day, Nietzsche is still among the youngest of the tenured classics professors on record. Nietzsche's work spans philosophical polemics, poetry, cultural criticism, and fiction, while displaying a fondness for aphorism and irony. Prominent elements of his philosophy include his radical critique of truth in favor of perspectivism, a genealogical critique of religion and Christian morality, and a related theory of master-slave morality. The aesthetic affirmation of life in response to both the death of God and the profound crisis of nihilism. In his later work, he became increasingly preoccupied with the creative powers of the individual to overcome cultural and moral mores in pursuit of new values and aesthetic health. His body of work touched a wide range of topics, including art, philology, history, music, religion, tragedy, culture, and science, and drew inspiration from Greek tragedy as well as figures such as Zoroaster, Arthur Schopenhauer, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Richard Wagner, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. His philosophy generates passionate reactions. His works remain controversial due to varying interpretations and misinterpretations. In Western philosophy, Nietzsche's writings have been described as a case of free revolutionary thought that is, revolutionary in its structure and problems, although not tied to any revolutionary project. His writings have also been described as a revolutionary project in which his philosophy serves as the foundation of a European cultural rebirth. Following bouts of illness and seemingly failing love life, by 1882, Nietzsche was taking huge doses of opium and continued to have trouble sleeping. In 1883, while staying in Nice, he was writing out his own prescriptions for the sedative chloral hydrate, signing them Dr. Nietzsche. On 3rd January 1889, Nietzsche suffered a mental breakdown. Following multiple other reports and bouts of illness, in 1898 and 1899, Nietzsche suffered at least 2 strokes. They partially paralyzed him, leaving him unable to speak or walk. He likely suffered from clinical hemiparesis, hemiplegia, on the left side of his body. After contracting pneumonia in mid-August 1900, he had another stroke during the night of 24th to 25th August and died at about noon on 25th August. Elizabeth had him buried beside his father at the church in Rücken near Lützen. His friend and secretary Gast gave his funeral oration proclaiming, "Holy be your name to all future generations." Here are 10 of Friedrich Nietzsche's notable and famous quotes. "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how.
That which does not kill us makes us stronger." Woman was God's second mistake.
It is impossible to suffer without making someone pay for it. Every complaint already contains revenge. In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. We should consider every day lost on which we have not danced at least once, and we should call every truth false which was not accompanied by at least one laugh. Those who cannot understand how to put their thoughts on ice should not enter into the heat of debate. In every real man a child is hidden that wants to play. To forget one's purpose is the commonest form of stupidity.
The word Christianity is already a misunderstanding. In reality, there has been only one Christian, and he died on the cross.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.